Hello kids, today we are going to read a very short and beautiful poem, The Kite by Harry Ben. Harry Ben is an American author. He's especially a children's author. He writes poems for children, books for children, and he's also a screenplay writer. He's written the story for various movies. So here in this poem, he's describing the beauty of the kite. He is trying to bring our attention to the various life events of a small thing like kite. And he's also trying to persuade us to once in our lifetime try this activity of kite flying. It's a beautiful experience and it brings a lot of happiness to us. So to start with the poem reading first. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. With a dive and a dip, it snaps its tail, then soars like a ship with only a sail. As over tides of wind it rides, climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls, then seems to rest as wind falls. When string goes slack, you wind it back and run until a new breeze blows. And its wings fill and up it goes. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. But a ragged thing you never will see when it flaps on a string in the top of a tree. So in this poem, to start with, first the author has described the beauty, the happiness of a kite's life. And in the end, he's also referred to the sad moments when the life of a kite comes to an end. Okay, so let's start with the line by line explanation. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new? Here, the kite is referred to as a bright and colorful object in the blue sky. Blue here refers to a sky. So when it's new and it's just begin its journey of flying in the sky, which is blue in color, the kite looks bright, beautiful, attractive. And these days, as it is, the kites are being made up of so many colors, patterns, designs. We even have pictures on them. And to describe its journey in the sky, it keeps on diving and dipping. Dive means when we plunge into water. Dip is when we just dip a body part, a finger or hand into water in a slow motion. So these words here are used to describe the movement of the kite, because sometimes the kite goes up with a lot of speed. Sometimes it moves slowly as if it's trying to dip itself into the huge vast sky. And all this while it keeps on snapping its tail. Tail here is referred to the triangular part just below the kite. For example, if the kite is this way, we usually have a triangular part here and then the string starts. So this is referred to as the tail of the kite. This tail keeps on flapping when the wind is blowing at a very fast pace, and we can hear the noise of this flapping clearly. Then soars like a ship with only a sail, and it looks as if a ship is flying over there in sea. Here, a very varied comparison is being made, an unusual comparison between the ship and the kite. Ship floats in water, whereas a kite flies in the sky. But here it is assumed as if a ship is flying in the sky, because the kite is moving in the same pattern as a ship moves in water. When there is high tide, the ship goes up. When there is low tide, the ship tends to come down. Same ways, even in the sky, the kite is riding the wind. There, the ship rides the water waves, and in the sky, the kite rides the strong and fast moving air, which is called wind. Here, the word wind is referring to the air which is blowing at a very fast pace, and it looks as if the kite has sat on it and is riding it. It climbs to the crest. Crest means the top. Like when we say crest, the top of a mountain. So the kite goes up there when the wind is very strong. Strong rush of wind is called as gust, and it keeps on exerting a force. It keeps on pulling the kite along with it. So the kite keeps on moving up and up. And then when that wind passes away, there is just normal breeze blowing, or the wind is very slow moving. At that time it looks as if the kite is taking a rest. It is calmed down too. And at that time the string goes slack. Slack means loose. The ones who would have done this activity of kite flying must be familiar with this situation. When the string goes loose, and then you have to quickly pull back the string to provide proper energy for the kite to stay up there, otherwise it will start falling down. And to wind it back, sometimes you run, so that if there is no wind blowing, there is some pressure applied with your running. So you keep on running to pull the string back until a new breeze blows. And as soon as a new breeze starts blowing, air starts filling up inside the imaginary wings of the kite. It is imagined that the kite has wings. Now here it is being compared to a bird. It is flying like a bird with its wings. So all the air will fill up inside those wings, and then the kite would go up again. One thing here, two words are being used: wind and breeze. Wind refers to fast moving air, and breeze refers to slow moving air, the air moving at its own slow pace. And then again the first line has been repeated: how bright and the blue is a kite when it's new. So all this is a journey of a new kite when it has just started flying. And then towards the end, the author is also referring to the kite as a ragda thing. Ragda means a poor old shabby thing which is dressed as if in torn clothes, worn out clothes. And why does this happen? Because at times the kite gets stuck up on tops of trees, on topmost branches of the tree, on various electricity poles, or maybe at the top of your own house buildings. We have those dish TV connections on the top of our houses. There the kites get stuck up. And when they are stuck, of course, they get torn also, because the person who's flying the kite tries to pull it, and as a result, they get torn. So later on, that is their end. They remain over there if they're not able to free themselves. And it looks like a very poor situation for them. But still, the kite has already spent its beautiful moments up in the sky. When it was traveling the waves of air, when the wind was fast, the kite also used to go up high in the sky. When the wind was slow, the kite used to come down and take a little rest. And then towards the end, when it has stuck up somewhere, and the person who was flying the kite had just tossed sharply, tried to pull the string sharply so that it get free the kite, but that doesn't happen. So the kite's journey ends there on a sad note. So this is the journey of a kite, from happy moments to the sad moments, just as life is. Thank you, children.